All right, strap in everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of server meshing in Star Citizen.
Yeah, we're taking a close look at a recent developer post that has the community buzzing, and for good reason.
It's a big one. This is for all you citizens out there, like me, who've been waiting, not so patiently, for server meshing to finally arrive.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but this tech, it's a game changer.
Absolutely, and the devs have been upfront about the challenges, haven't they? In this pinned discussion, they're calling it, they lay out some of the hurdles. It's been a wild ride so far.
It really has. Early on, they hit a wall, a major bottleneck, with what they call the network message queue, or NMQ.
Right, the NMQ. Now, just for anyone who might be new to this whole thing, the NMQ is essentially the system that keeps everything and everyone in sync, right?
Exactly. All those player actions, ship movements, everything. It's a ton of data flying back and forth constantly. Turns out, the old NMQ system, well, it just couldn't keep up when they started pushing those player numbers higher.
So that leads to some issues, I'm guessing.
Lag, mostly. Stuff wasn't happening when it should. Things were glitching out. Not exactly that seamless starfaring experience we're all hoping for.
Definitely not ideal. So what did they do about it?
Well, they went back to the drawing board and came up with a whole new system, calling it the Replication Message Queue, or RMQ.
The RMQ. Okay, so new system, same goal. How's this one shaping up?
It's looking promising. In their post, they talk about how this RMQ is showing some real improvements. It's handling the data much more efficiently.
Okay, so that's a big win, right? They basically swapped out a core piece of the puzzle, and it seems to be doing its job.
Yeah, it's huge because now they can move on to the next set of hurdles, like zoning times, for example.
Right, zoning times. Even without server meshing, that's always been a bit of a pain point.
Totally. It's that thing where you're cruising through space, you hit a boundary, and bam, new area, new load screen, everything freezes for a bit.
And of course, with server meshing, well, the whole point is to make the universe feel seamless, so those zoning times are even more critical.
Exactly. They've been running a bunch of tests, laser focused on this zoning performance, and the results, well, they've been a bit of a mixed bag so far.
So some bumps in the road during these tests.
Yeah, the first batch, back in early September, they ran into some snags, more lag, especially when you had a bunch of players all zoning at the same time.
Makes sense, I guess. That's a lot of data all at once.
Right. But here's the thing. Instead of freaking out, the devs, they took it in stride, dug into what was happening, used it to fine-tune everything.
And that leads us to this latest test, the one from the update.
Yeah, they actually switched from weekly tests to every other week, which tells me they're feeling more confident about, zeroing in on these problems.
Okay, and this latest one, any better?
Much better. They managed to get a stable 4-server setup, 350 players, running for a good while.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big jump, right? I'm guessing way more demanding than the old NMQ could handle.
Oh, absolutely. This RNQ, it's not just faster, it seems like it's more adaptable too. Like they can really tweak it, get under the hood and fine-tune it for these really specific issues.
So server meshing is basically right around the corner then.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. As good as these results are, it's still a pretty controlled environment, the real deal, thousands of players all doing their own thing. That's going to be a whole other challenge.
Right. Got to temper those expectations. Speaking of challenges, though, I got to ask about something else from this post. It made me laugh. They were talking about players clogging up the bathrooms in New Babbage.
Oh, yeah. The bathroom conga line. Classic.
It's funny, but also kind of telling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't see bathroom breaks in a tech update every day.
Well, that's Star Citizen for you. Always aiming for that extra level of detail, that realism.
And the challenges that come with it, especially on this scale.
Exactly. Suddenly it's not just about, spaceships and planets. It's about what happens when you have thousands of players all needing to use the bathroom after a big space battle.
Which is both hilarious and, I have to admit, impressive.
It is. And it highlights something important about server meshing. This isn't just about making the game world bigger.
It's about making it deeper, more connected.
Exactly. With server meshing, you have the potential for a truly dynamic universe. One where player actions actually have real consequences, intended or not.
And sometimes those consequences involve a long line for the restroom.
Sometimes they do. But hey, that's all part of the fun, right?
I guess so. But seriously, thinking about the bigger picture here, how does this impact gameplay, like in a broader sense?
All right, so imagine this. Server meshing is fully implemented. The dream is real. What's different when you log in?
Paint me a picture. What does this new reality look like? Okay, so I'm logging in. Server meshing is live. What's the first thing I notice?
Well, first thing, Those server boundaries we're used to, they're gone. The whole universe, it's all connected.
No more jumping between servers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can fly from one system to another with my friends all in the same shard.
Exactly. You, your friends, thousands of other players potentially, all in the same place. Think about it. The possibilities for, I don't know, exploration, for trade, for massive battles, it's huge.
It's kind of hard to wrap my head around. What about the economy in the game? Will that be affected too?
For sure. Right now, it's all separate, right? Each server has its own little economy going on, server meshing. We could be looking at one massive dynamic economy, universe-wide, supply and demand changing in real time based on, what players are doing all over the galaxy.
So, like, if there's a big mining boom going on somewhere, the price of those minerals could drop on the other side of the galaxy because of it.
Exactly. And those changes, they'll impact everything. Shipbuilding, piracy, even just like refueling your ship.
Yeah.
That level of depth, that realism, that's something we haven't really seen in an online game before.
That's wild. It's like the game world becomes this living, breathing thing.
Right. And it all goes back to, those bathroom lines in New Babbage.
Huh.
It's funny, but it shows you server meshing. It makes everyone rethink how they approach this universe, because it's so much more dynamic.
It's not just about making it bigger, it's about making it deeper, more real.
Exactly. And that's why it's so exciting. Daunting, but exciting.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, I know they're aiming for that 4.0 PTU release,
Yeah.
which means we still have some waiting to do.
We do. But hey, that gives us all time to, think about what we want to do, how we want to play in this new server meshed universe.
So, for those listening, what's one question, a big one, that we should all be asking ourselves while we wait?
Think about your favorite thing to do in Star Citizen right now. Got it. Okay, now imagine doing that, but on a massive scale, with thousands of other players all in the same universe. Does it still work? Does it become even better? How does it change the game for you?
That's a great question. And on that note, until next time, citizens, keep those jump drives fueled, and we'll be back soon with another deep dive into the ever-evolving world of Star Citizen.